Hi, everyone. Okay, so we're going to look at two examples now to find the max value, the max integer value in a list. Now, the first one, this one is a simple one. And here we're going to be given a list of integers, and we need to compare each element of the list and then find the max value of the list. So it shouldn't be too hard if you've done some of the recursion examples with lists, okay? So let me open up VS Code and we can go from there. So here I have the function. I'm starting it. I'm calling it max of list. And I'm going to take a list, LST, as my input. And this is a list of integers, okay? It also says, remember, I've started. So it's important for us to remember it's a list of integers because we are going to be doing another example where we're going to be looking at a list that could have any type of element, okay? So this one is a list of integers. You can assume that the list is not empty, so there's going to be at least one number in the list, and so that's going to be your base case. Okay, think about what we've discussed in terms of the 5 steps. So the parameter here, of course, is the list, and the list will keep changing based on the iterative call. The base case would be to check if the length of the list is 1, if there's only one element in it, right? The recursive case would be to find the max of the rest of the list. And our if condition would be based off of the length of the list. Okay, does that make sense? Let's try to write this. So I'm going to start off with an if, and that's going to simply look at if the length of the list is equal to 1, so there's only one element in it, what do I do then? If there's only one element in the list, I am just going to return that one element as my max. Okay. Now, what's our else case? Our recursive case would be, what do we do if we have more than one element? So we'd have to check to see which one is the max. So I'm going to assume a temp max. So I can call it temp max. And I am going to say my temp max would be the max of the rest of the list, okay? So I'm going to recursively call the max function on the rest of the list, similar to what we did for the previous list operation. We're going to pass everything but the first element, okay? I'm going to see if I'm going to find the max element of the rest of the list. And now I'm going to actually compare which one is greater. Is it the list of 0? If it is the list of 0, that's greater. So if it's the first element that's greater, then I return it. If not, I am just, if list of 0 greater than temp max, I'm going to return it. Else, what's the else case? What do I return? If we know that that's not, the first element is not greater, we actually would have to go and return the temp max, okay? Of course, I've separated it out just so it's easier for you to understand. You could, of course, call the function when you're doing your else here. Feel free to edit this code. Let's try to run it now. Gonna call max list on the list that we've actually been given, okay? So let's try it on the list that we've been given, 9. Many of you know I have a French keyboard, so all right, and let's print it out. I'll run that, and you'll see that it prints 31. What if we want to try it with a different set of elements in the list? So let's say I only have one element and that element is 0. Let's check if our base case works, and it does. And if I have, say, 10 and 0, we want to make sure that it returns 10 and not 0, and it does. And so we know that our function works. Okay. The thing to remember here is the same 5 steps that we've been talking about. We're doing the base case first, and the base case is simply because we can assume that the list is not empty. The base case would be simply when the list has only one element, you return that element. Now, the next recursive case would be check the rest of the list, find the max of that, and if that max is greater than the first element, then make that the max and continue on. Okay. All right. I think I will stop here and we'll go from here.